Hello everyone, welcome back to my class. So today we will discuss about quadratic equations. So what are quadratic equations? Any expression that has a degree of 2 in one variable, we call it as quadratic equation. The standard form of quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0, where a cannot be 0. Now, in order to find out the solution for x, we have three methods. The three methods are, first of all, it's factorization. The second one is completing square, and the third one is quadratic formula. So first of all, let us see that if you are given a certain equation, is it going to be quadratic or not, as asked in the first exercise. Let us take an example where suppose you are given this x plus 1 whole square equals to 2x plus 3. So you have to check whether this equation is a quadratic equation or not. So what we will do, we will just start simplifying. X square plus 2x plus 1 equals to 2x plus 3. We just transpose all the terms to the same side. On side change, their signs gets changed. 2x minus 2x, x square minus 2 equals to 2. Here we can see that we have x square term but no x term. So it doesn't matter whether we have x term or not. If the linear term goes missing, we have no problem with that. The main thing is the presence of the quadratic term. Since this equation is having a degree of 2, so we can call it a quadratic equation. It is a quadratic equation. Now how to solve these? So first of all, let us talk about factorization method. If we talk about factorization method, it's very simple. We'll talk about prime factorization or middle term factorization. Let us take an example for factorization method. It's very simple, very basic. X square minus 3x minus 10 equals to 0. So we have all come across this middle term factorization earlier. First term, last term. So 1 minus 10, 1 into minus 10, that is minus 10. So we will split this 3 into the difference. Since it is minus, so we will split it into the difference of two numbers such that the difference is 3. That means we will take two numbers which on subtracting we get 3 and on multiplying we get 10. So in this case we can say it's 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. Again 5 into 2 is 10. So we will go for further simplification. Minus plus minus, minus minus plus. From these two terms we can take x common. This gives x minus 5. Here we can take 2 common, plus 2. This also gives x minus 5. We have x minus 5 common. So the product of these two numbers is 0. So we will individually equate them to be 0, as we have learned in our previous classes that quadratic equation, so the degree is 2. If the degree is 2, then the maximum number of solutions or zeros or roots, we can say, these should be 2. So we will have two different solutions. One for this, we will equate this to be 0, which implies x is 5. Again we will equate this to be 0. This comes to be x equals to minus 2. So this 5 and this minus 2, they are called the zeros of the quadratic equation x square minus 3x minus 10. Factorization method is the simplest method for finding out the roots of a quadratic equation. Moving on to the next part, completing square and quadratic formula. Completing square method, what we do in this method is that we just break it down into certain terms which can be further shortened to a square form, perfect square form. And quadratic formula, it can be derived by using this completing square method. Let us first derive the quadratic formula. So we will take a standard quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. So the now problem is this a, we can just break it down into a perfect square only if we have a perfect square here. Since we have this a which is not a square, so either we will multiply the whole equation with a so that we come across a square x square, or we will divide the entire expression by a so that this a is cancelled out. So it's better to multiply. Now this LHS part comes out to be a square x square plus abx plus ac equals to, this becomes 0. Now let us start breaking down this equation. So this can be written as ax whole square. Now I will have to go for my second term, 2ab term, a plus b whole square, a square plus 2ab plus b square. So this becomes my a square. Now I need my 2ab square. So a is ax. Out of that I have taken a and x, we are remaining with b. But in order to balance this point, this term with this, we have to divide b by 2. So now this is my a square plus 2ab. So my b square term is this. Since I have introduced this term, so I must balance it. This term b by 2 whole square was not present in the previous step. I have myself introduced this term in this step, so I have to balance it. I'll balance it by minus b by 2 whole square. Now the remaining part is ac plus ac equals to 0. So a square plus 2ab plus b square reduces to ax plus b by 2 whole square. This becomes b square by 4 ac. Let us now shift these terms to the other side. Ax plus b by 2 whole square equals to b square by 4 minus ac. On taking LCM, this becomes b square minus 4 ac by 4. Now let us take the square root plus minus b square minus 4 ac, and the root of 4 is 2. So now ax equals to, I am taking that side, minus b plus minus, this is 2, that is 2. I don't need to take any LCM. So my x is ultimately minus b plus minus root over of b square minus 4ac by twice a. This is called quadratic formula. X equals to minus b plus minus root over of b square minus 4ac by twice a. This is called as quadratic formula, and we have to use this formula to find out the zeros or the roots of the equation that we have been given. So now let us take an example where we will use this completing square method, and then subsequently we will move towards quadratic formula. So let us take a very simple example. x square plus 4 root 3x plus 3 equals to 0. We will start with the simple thing. First of all, 4 is a square of a natural number. So I can write it down as 2x whole square plus 2 into a. Here this term, if I break it, it becomes 4, going to do 4 x, so the remaining term is root 3. A square plus 2a, this is my b, so this should be my b square, and this is present there as 3, root 3 square 3. So I don't need to adjust anything, I don't need to introduce any new terms. So this has itself become a square plus 2a b and plus b square. So I can reduce it into this form. So if the square is 0, then the number is also 0. Minus root 3 minus root 3 by 2. See, the solution here is only minus root 3 by 2. But since we are expecting two solutions, so we will write that roots are minus root 3 by 2 comma minus root 3 by 2. We will write it as two different roots, but they are same. These are called equal roots. These are called real and equal roots. We will come to that later on. Now, what if I do the same thing using the quadratic formula? First of all, I have to take the constants. Here a equals to 4, b equals to 4 root 3, c equals to 3. So if I use the quadratic formula is x equals to minus b plus minus root over of b square minus 4ac by twice a. So minus b 4 root 3 plus minus b square, so it should be 4 root 3 whole square minus 4 into a 4 c is 3, 2 into a 2 into 4 minus 4 root 3 plus minus, this becomes 4 square 16, root 3 square 3, 16 into 3 48 minus 4 4 16, again 3 48 minus 4 root 3. This part cancels out, so plus minus root 0 is again 0, so I don't need to write that. Now let's cancel out. So this turns out to be root 3 by 2. So the roots are minus root 3 by 2 comma minus root 3 by 2. See, the roots are similar, it's the same. So whether we use the completing square method or the quadratic method, it's always the same, the results are the same. Even if we use the factorization method, the results is going to be the same. The only thing is that what is the demand of the question. If the question asks you to do it with the help of factorization method, you go for factorization method. If it asks for completing square method, you go for completing square method. If it asks for quadratic formula, then you go for quadratic formula. And if nothing is asked, you have the free will to do the sum using any of the method. So this was a very simple question where we didn't have to introduce any new terms. We had this reduce this equation into a complete square. Now what will be the situation when we have to reduce it, and we have to also introduce some other terms? Let us take an example, a very simple example. So the example is like 2x square minus 7x plus 3 equals to 0. In this case, first of all, 2 is not a square of any natural number. So either we have to multiply the entire equation with 2 or we have to divide the entire equation by 2. So better to multiply, because we don't want to end up with fractions at the very beginning. We will encounter fractions, but if we do not begin with fractions at the very beginning, that would be a bit easier for us. So let us multiply the entire equation by 2. So this becomes 4x square minus 14x plus 6 equals to 0. Now this can be written as 2x whole square minus, so this is my a square, minus, I need to now write the 2ab term, 2a. Now what is going to be the b? 14 we can write as 2 into 7. So 14, 2 into 7, this is my x. The problem is the presence of these two. 2x into 7, 14x, that is okay. But the problem here is with these two. So in order to balance out these two, we will divide this by 2. Why only 7? Because we cannot do anything with twice x. We have twice x here. We cannot change the value of twice x. So we have only one option. We have to manage with this 7. So this is a square minus 2ab. So now my b square is going to be 7 by 2 whole square. So I have introduced this new term in the equation. Up to this much it was balanced. 2x whole square, it was 4x square, minus 2 into 2x into 7 by 2, this sums out to be 14x. But I have now introduced a new term, 7 by 2 whole square. So I have to balance this. I have to write minus of the same thing and the remaining part plus 6 equals to 0. So what does this reduces to? This entire part reduces to a square minus 2ab plus b square. So 2x minus 7 by 2 whole square. Now this part 49 by 4 plus 6 equals to 0. Let us now shift it to that part. by 4 minus 6, which is, on taking LCM, this becomes 24. So now this entire expression, let us shift it there. This is 25 by 4. So let me take the square root of this. 25, its square root is 5 and its square root is 2. While taking the square root, if we shift the square from one side of the equation to the other side, it becomes square root. While taking square root, we must note that there are two possible values, one plus, one minus, because the square of x is x squared, the square of minus x is also x squared. So we have to take both the positive and negative values. From these two values, we will get two different roots. Like when we will equate this part with this part, we will have two situations. When we will take plus 5 by 2 and we will take minus 5 by 2. Now if we move on with this, this is 12 by 2, 6, so x is 3, and if we further go with this, 7 by 2 minus 5 by 2, 7 minus 5 by 2, so this is 2 by 2, 1, x is half. So my roots are, in this case, half and 3. So whenever we will use this completing square method, we have to first of all focus on the first one, the quadratic term, whether it is of the form a perfect square or not. If it is of the form of a perfect square, we will move on to the second step. If not, then we have to make it either by multiplying like this or by dividing, so that this term goes out of the constant term and remains only with x square. So in my opinion, it should be always multiplied so that we can get these integral constants instead of factors. Now the roots are half and 3. What will happen if I use quadratic formula in this sum? So let us see. Using of quadratic formula shortens the sum. So in my opinion, if no options are given, go for quadratic formula. So here a equals to 2, b equals to -7, c equals to 3. Quadratic formula minus b plus minus root over of b square minus 4ac by twice a. So my minus here, b itself is minus, plus minus b square means -7 whole square minus 4ac by twice a. So 2 into 7 plus minus root 49 minus 24 by 4. So this comes down to this square. Now root 25 is 5, 7 plus minus 5 by 4. Now we split it. X equals to 7 plus 5 by 4, x equals to 7 minus 5 by 4. 12 by 4, 3, 2 by 4, half. So these roots are again matching with the previous case. So it's obviously we can see that the quadratic formula is a shorter process. The factorization process is again a bit more shorter, but it's easier. The convenient one is this quadratic formula. Now there are certain equations, certain quadratic equations where we cannot find any roots. The roots won't be real. Like the case is, suppose x square minus 4 equals to 0. So if I shift it to that part, x square equals to 4, so x would be what? Plus minus 2. Very simple. Plus 2 or minus 2. Now if the equation was like x square plus 4 equals to 0, then this turns out to be x square equals to minus 4. Now we cannot have square root of a negative term. In that case we won't have any real roots. So how to check whether an equation has real roots or not, and if they are real, how to know whether the roots are unequal or in the previous case equal? So there are certain conditions. If we talk about the quadratic formula, x equals to minus b plus minus root over of b square minus 4ac by twice a, the most crucial part is this radical part, b square minus 4ac. It's called discriminant. If this discriminant is first calculated, then we can say whether the roots are real or not. Like if discriminant is less than 0, that is negative, the roots are not real. We cannot have real roots. Second case is if d equals to 0. If d equals to this part equal to 0, then this plus minus root term goes away. We are left with only minus b by twice a. So in that case, the roots are equal and real. And the third case, if d is greater than 0, then the roots are unequal and real. If this b square minus 4ac yields out to be negative, comes out to be negative, then we cannot find any real root. The sum has to be stopped there only. And if on checking it to be 0, we can move on. We will have real roots. Again, if it is more than 0, we can move on. But in this case, the roots are going to be real. That means we are going to find out only one value. And in this case, they are going to be unequal. That is, we are going to have two different values. So this is how we check whether a quadratic equation has real roots or not. If it has real roots, we can continue with the sum. If it has no real root, we cannot do the sum. That must be stopped there. So this was my quadratic equation in short. Thank you.